Hey guys, Richard Seller here. Wanted to do a recap video for the year. Talk a little bit about some of the things that happened in employment law in 2017 that were supposed to be major and that turned out to really just hurt a lot of people around the country. I, I'm laughing. If you got to see how many outtakes I've had to do for this one video for whatever reason, I'm tongue-tied today, so if I have another one, I'm just going to go ahead and blow right through it and you guys can laugh along with me. 2017 was supposed to be a big year. The overtime regulations were supposed to go into effect that gave millions of people overtime pay where in the past they weren't entitled to it. This was an Obama term initiative that was supposed to go into effect. The Texas federal courts just absolutely destroyed it and said, it's not happening. So those got frozen and killed. I still get calls from folks all the time saying, hey, those new laws went into effect, why aren't I getting paid overtime? And I've got to politely tell them, go talk to your congressman. This was an absolute disaster what the courts did, and it doesn't look like overtime protections are going to be expanded for the American workforce anytime soon, which is sad and certainly disheartening if you think about some folks who are just struggling to get by on minimum wage and other payments. This was supposed to be a real big boost for their pockets, and it didn't happen. So that was one issue. The next two issues, which are sort of interrelated, was that the Department of Justice actually came out and made a finding that transgender discrimination is technically not illegal, meaning that the laws that govern workplace discrimination and harassment, one of which is Title VII, specifically does not protect transgender discrimination. So that gave the green light to the Roy Moores of the world and those who follow him to go ahead and say, not my problem if you identify as a man or identify as a woman. I have the green light to go ahead and discriminate against you. So that's terrible. And candidly, that really makes no sense. And it highlights sort of what's wrong with our political system is we're still operating as if the Constitution applies to today's times, and that laws that were written in 1964 had no foresight to think, hey, times are going to change and folks are going to change. So for right now, the law on transgender discrimination in the workplace is terrible. It's unfair. It's irrational. Welcome to my world of judges and lawmakers making arbitrary decisions that just candidly make absolutely no sense. So far, so good, by the way, on not having an outtake, but I feel one coming. On a related topic, homosexuality in the workplace and discrimination based on homosexuality. Another mind-blowing decision out of the 11th Circuit, which is where I practice, which covers Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. A federal decision that says it's not illegal to discriminate against somebody based on homosexuality. Makes no sense. And that got appealed, and the appellate court essentially upheld the lower court saying, we agree with you. It's not illegal under the law to discriminate against homosexual employees because the specific term gender does not include homosexuality. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But these are the courts and these are the decisions that they make. If you haven't heard this before, I'll say it again. Employees' rights in the courts are so limited. These judges go out of their way to assist big business and the employers. They literally stretch the law and the facts beyond recognition so they can stay consistent with their party message. Pro-business, anti-employee. So an employee who has a legitimate claim that should go to a jury gets dismissed by the judge on some procedural grounds. We see it all the time. It's unfair. It's unconstitutional. But who the heck am I and who's listening to me? We got to talk to our Congress folks. We've got to put the right judges in office. Those were the three main things that came up this year. Disheartening news for employees. But look, guys, it's the end of the year. There's always hope for 2018. We, surprisingly, it used to be in this type of practice that things slow down this time of year, October, November, December. You'd think employers have a heart. They're not firing employees in the midst of the holiday season. Our intakes and our potential clients seeking our representation from October, and it looks like it's going strong to the end of the year. People are getting fired this time of year. We've lost our humanity. I said it in a prior video, and it's tough and it's disappointing. And we do everything we can as an employment law firm to help folks who have been wronged. But it leads me to one last point, which I think is a fair one. Look, law firms always want to tell you about their successes. Nobody ever wants to tell you about their failures, okay? And the truth of the matter is any lawyer who guarantees that you're going to win your lawsuit is lying to you, okay? And that's not something that we do in our firm. I'd rather tell you from the beginning, here are the warts with your case. And I always use the following expression. If anybody tells you you got a better than a 50-50 chance of winning a lawsuit, run. Don't walk from that lawyer. We do our best as lawyers to analyze the facts that you present us and apply that to the law that these lovely judges are putting into place. At the end of the day, the control over this either comes down to the judge who will try to take your case away or a jury. And juries can do crazy things, they can do wonderful things, and they can do maniacal things. But make sure that when you're looking for a lawyer, you research the lawyer, you ask the lawyer about his or her trial experience, you ask the lawyer how many cases of this sort they've handled in their career. Don't be afraid to ask your lawyer for proof or results of what they've done, okay? There's a couple things you don't bargain shop on. One of them is a butcher, one of them is a doctor, one of them is a lawyer, okay, guys? So if you're looking for a lawyer, do your due diligence out there. Really make sure that you're vetting who you're hiring. Everybody can have a fancy website, and the internet has become this ultimate equalizer of lawyers, okay? A beautiful website is leading people to hire firms. We have, I think, a beautiful website, but you decide for yourself. You have to vet who you're putting your life, whose hands you're actually putting your employment life in. You don't know how many times we get calls from potential clients who went with the other guy screwed up their case, and now they're asking us to take over, and by that time it's too late, it's a mess. So, PSA, vet your lawyer, vet me, check me out, check out my partners, check out my associates. If you want to go to another law firm, well, we'd be sad to lose you, God bless you. Investigate that other law firm. Make sure that the person who's going to be handling your livelihood is experienced and knows what they're doing. You wouldn't go to a foot doctor for open heart surgery. Don't do the same when it comes to your career. Recap 2017, exciting topics in employment law. Learn to vet your lawyers. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. I hope everybody has great goals and ambitions for 2018. Stay safe. Happy New Year. Looking forward to catching up with you guys next year. Be well. God bless.